Hello students, in this series we are going to look at forecasting. This particular book 13E, you can get the forecasting in this chapter here, which is called as time series and forecasting, chapter 15. But what I have done, I have whatever is required out of this chapter, I have taken it to an Excel and I will be using the Excel to explain you. Although in the exam, depending on your pattern, you may have to do it manually using calculator on pen and paper type of exams. If the exam permits you to use Excel, you can directly use Excel. So I will be taking you to that forecasting Excel sheet, which has Excel file which has different sheets, and each one covering one topic. So before we start with the topics, just a brief of introduction. Forecasting, as everyone understands, it's a must, because depending on the forecasting, the organizations start preparing for the future, which can be in terms of the raw materials required, or tools required, or manpower required, etc., etc. Often a manager uses judgment, opinion, or past experience to forecast. However, a number of mathematical models are also available to aid manager in decision making. So basically, based on the amount of data, past data you have of a particular event or happening, that can be used for building a model, which is a mathematical model, and then that model can be used to do the forecasting for the future periods. Although no method will result in totally accurate forecast, these models can provide reliable guidelines for decision making. So there are typically three types of range, depending on the ranges, three types of forecast. Short range forecast usually used for daily operations or weekly operations. Then medium range forecast from 1 to 2 months to up to 1 year, and long range forecast for more than 2 years. So usually for the long range are for new products, for changing markets, building new facilities to secure long-term financing, etc. Whereas middle range can be for deciding on yearly production plans, peaks and valleys in demand, and are reflected to secure required resources. Now there are typically whenever the forecasts you see, it can have a particular trend. So trend is a gradual long-term up or down movement. Sometimes it can have even a flat trend. But along with the trend, there can be random variations which may be difficult to predict. Okay. The other pattern is called as cycle, which is you can see in the diagram, it is going up and down regularly, and over a period it will repeat itself. But it can have a small seasonal pattern where basically you can see here these peaks are coming for a shorter period of time depending on the season. Maybe it can depend on the weather or any other happenings. But many times you will find them happening together. So this particular diagram shows upward trend, right, increasing trend along with this seasonal pattern. Now typically we are going to study in this series moving average method of forecasting, weighted moving average, exponential smoothing, adjusted exponential smoothing. Then we are also going to look at the linear trend line, multiple regression, then seasonality, adjustment for seasonality, and lastly we are also going to look at how to decide which model is better depending on its accuracy of forecasting. In this particular video, I am going to cover moving average and weighted moving average. So let us understand what is a moving average. I will be sharing this Excel sheet also for those who want to use it. So the moving average method is a simple method basically you are already having the past data. For example, from Jan to October you already have orders delivered per month, the data is with you, and you are now required to forecast for January, for the November month. So what you can do, you can just simply take average of previous months. It can be a 3-month moving average, where basically if you see here, the past 3 months average is taken as the forecast for the next month, April month. So by 31st March or maybe on the 1st of April, you will already have the information about the March total orders delivered. So the past 3 months, Jan, Feb and March, the average of that will become your forecast for April. And similarly it will keep on happening. So you forecast for April is 103, but in reality you could conclude with 75 orders, right? Then for the next month, May, this Jan will not be considered, because the last 3 months will be taken for the average. So it's a very simple moving average. Why it is moving? Because it keeps on moving. The average of previous 3 months only will be considered. It can be also a 4-month moving average, a 6-month moving average, a 5-month moving average as shown here, or it can also have a yearly moving average also. So if you see the 3-month moving average compared to 5-month moving average, 5-month moving average which will be more sluggish in when it compared to capturing the actual variations. The lesser the month, number of months average you will take, then it will be trying to capture the fluctuations of the actual happenings. So this is the moving average, and depending on the given number of months, you can easily calculate. Okay, simply you need to just formulate the table and keep on calculating using a calculator if it is a manual one for you, right? When you go to weighted moving average, a slight variation happens, and if you see this slight variation here, that we now use weights, right? Weights for example, here in this example they have given us that use 50% weights for the previous month data, 35% for the 1 month prior data, and 15% for the 2 month prior data, right? So basically you are just simply using these weights along with the moving average. When you are calculating moving average, you will be using weights. This can be even in a reverse manner. Previous month you take only 15% and so on. So it will be given if it is an exam, it will be given to you. So if you see here, the same example is taken ahead here. You have this 3-month moving average, and now this is your weighted 3-month moving average. And if you see this, basically what we have done, 50%, because this is 50%, we have used for previous month, that is March data, 50%, 35% of the February value, and 15% of the January value. So, right, so this is how we do the weighted moving average, and you can see that there will be a difference between the two values, obviously. So if you change this weights, it will be a new mathematical model, or the mathematical model you will be using. So depending on the choice of this, you can create as many models as you want to find out the forecast. So for November, when you want to calculate, basically this will be your moving average, simple moving average 3 month, and this will be your weighted moving average. Because we are giving 50% weightage to the fresh month, you can see clearly there is a dip in the forecast, because there is a dip in the October orders, and immediately it gets reflected because there is a 50% weightage here, and the forecast suddenly drops from 111 to 103. So these are the two methods based on the moving average. We will cover the remaining methods in my next video. Thank you.